Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. This platform is where I discuss family crises and how to tackle some of them. Today, I want to talk about what domestic abuse does to the victim, the negative impacts of violence on your family members. If you are violating your family members, what exactly does it do on them? We know that domestic abuse is a slow process thing. It starts usually verbally, and before you know it, it graduates to one slap today, tomorrow, two slaps, and then another day, a kick. This phenomenon, it doesn't do good to the abuser, neither does it do any good to the victim. So both the giver and the receiver are badly affected. It puts the abuser in a very bad light, and then the victim even in a worse scenario. You can now imagine where it has to do with children, but I'm going to talk about that one later. But I want to basically concentrate on women because, yes, we know that men also receive abuse, being violated by their wives in a very minimal percentage. Most of the abuse are giving to the women. Women receive this more than they give. So, if the abuser actually has the intention of putting you in a violent situation, he makes sure that he breaks you down so that he will be able to overpower you, to possess you. And he does this by making sure that he cuts you off from everything that builds you up. He makes sure he ruins your business, your career. He cuts you off from your family, from your friends, so that he can possess you. It's a very, very manipulative situation. He does this and make it look as if he's making you to gain trust in him. And at the end of the day, you become completely reliant and dependent on them, where you now begin to answer why. You become an object of control. Remember that women are supposed to submit to their husbands. They are supposed to respect their husbands. They are supposed to obey their husbands. This is not what I am disputing, right? Wise women build their homes. Foolish ones tear their homes down. I am assuming that all things are equal, right? But then that you ended up in the hand of someone that is animalistic, someone that is there to break you down instead of building you up. If you ever unfortunately find yourself in this situation, so many things are at stake. Your self-worth is destroyed. Your whole glory, everything that you had built in the name of personality and dignity, is reduced down to pulp in the name of beating, right? You will become isolated and helpless. Not just the isolation that your abuser gives to you, but also the one you give to yourself. Because when you no longer measure up with your counterparts, when you no longer measure up with your equals, when you are full of injuries, you will no longer want to come out to associate because your light has been dimmed, right? Then you become a depressed patient. There are no two ways about it. you will be withdrawn into yourself. You don't even know what to do with yourself. You don't even know if there is any help available to you or how to get it, especially in underdeveloped world like the country where you and I came from, right? So, and this is a very fearful situation for the victim. The victim lives her whole life, that place that she's answering madam, lives her whole life in fear. Fear of the abuser, fear of her husband or fear of her boyfriend, and even fear of the abuse being exposed because they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want the situation to be revealed. They don't want to wash the dirty linen in the public. And so they suffer till they die there, you know. So many times you have heard a woman saying, yes, my husband beats me, but I still love him. I don't want to leave the relationship. So it's not like the woman actually came into the marriage with ulterior motives. But then they now found themselves in a situation where they cannot help themselves. And then you see an unfortunate situation unfolding, you know. They experience this till they give up the ghost. Why? Because most times they are afraid of not being able to survive on their own if they decide to leave who is abusing them. Take, for instance, we have a current situation of this Nollywood actor that got a second wife. We can already all read the body language of his first wife, you know, but she's still there thinking of what to do with herself, you know, trying to see if she can cope with the situation for not being sure of what to get if she decides to leave, right? So the fear of the unknown is a torture on its own, especially where children are involved. The whole complications that go with, you know, deciding to go your way to save your life. At the end of the day, you are not even sure if that your life is safe. Because if you decide, for example, to speak out, if you decide, for example, to report your victim to the authorities, and at the end of the day, the perpetrator was not brought to book, was not, you know, arrested or punished, or nothing done to help you, you that is the victim will automatically change to become an enemy of who was abusing you publicly this time, not just privately anymore. So, and then because of all these things, you see a victim trying to minimize the abuse, trying to cover up. Hey, madam, why do you have black eye? Well, what happened to your eye? My sister, stories will come up. I woke up and then I bumped into a door. This one, the other one. Whereas madam has collected woto. Oga has collected woto. But because of, you know, shame and guilt, she's covering up all of these things until it kills her one day, you know. So, having no trust in the organizations, having no trust in authority that will help a victim is a very, very, very big deal. Because if you don't get support, for example, you are in a violent situation, but you're not sure if you will even secure a job if you leave the marriage to save your life, you know. You don't even know if your children can complete their education. You do so many things, so many uncertainties, you know. There is no safe haven for you. You are not even sure of a comfortable accommodation and all of these things. So because of the shelter, the food, the whatever security you get from staying in that abusive environment, you remain there to the detriment of your mental health and mental stability. Thinking of how to save yourself, how to reduce the suffering you are in. And if you cannot do anything physically to reduce it, you think of how to end it, right? And this is why so many people commit suicide out of depression. They get so depressed that they commit suicide, they take poison, they jump down, they hurt themselves and all of that. So it's a very difficult situation. Domestic violence and abuse can really, really ruin the victim's life forever and ever. Forever. You are distorted, you are disconnected, you lose social skills and so on and so forth. And then at the end of the day, you find out that a lot of women that died across the globe were actually killed by their male partners, killed by people that were supposed to build them up. So my name is Vivian, and this is Hearts with Heads Family Life Foundation, where we discuss family violence, and then try to help victims the much we can to get back on their feet. My name is Vivian, and this is Hearts with Heads Family Life Foundation, where we advocate for victims of domestic violence and abuse. Please share this video so that it will get to a lot of people that may learn from it. If you have domestic violence stories that you want to share with me, please send me direct messages or call me on the number that is displayed on the screen. Add me on WhatsApp or something. Thank you. Bye.